Here we go.
What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Dad's Life Podcast. My name is Sean Flac 2.0, and with me in the studio via satellite, let's start it off with NjordGod to the, where is this? To the left? To the right?
Okay, so I'm on that side of you. Good to know.
Okay, yeah.
Hey.
You got NjordGod over here. And right above me, we got Sensei Jon. Sensei Jon, say what's up.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. And new to the show on this episode, we have Mr. Krinlee. He's over here diagonal to me. Mr. Krinlee, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. Nice.
Okay. So we do got a full thing for you. So before we get started again, I want to say thank you for to the patrons out there. Again, we just recorded our behind the scenes right before the episode. Go ahead and check that out. If you aren't a patron, you can start your patronage today as little as $1 a month. Shadowpackwest.com. Go ahead and check it out. And you can check out all of us and all of our content, all of our other team members and what we're working on. And again, Shadowpack West is a creative community. And we worked on so many other projects prior to this. I'm not going to go into the whole history of it, but go ahead and check us out there for any information on the team itself. Before we get started, wanted to also say, again, Mr. Krinlee, thank you for showing up.
Yes. Welcome.
Yeah, and just a little behind the scenes about
Bernard Shyster.
And you know what? If nobody knows, okay, here'll be the thing. If you know who Erwin R. Shyster is without looking it up, leave that in the comments. And I don't know if anybody else knows who that is, but I'm a big fan. So again, Krinlee is part of the Shadowpack West creative content creation team. He's worked on the blog with me before. He's worked on other projects before. He also is working on his own project. So again, go ahead and check him out and his stuff on the website as well. And I mean, I think that's all I got as far as the beginning of the show shout outs. You guys got anything you want to say before we get started?
Nah, dude, I'm just pumped to get started.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, praise God for all y'all.
Praise God. Amen.
Especially for our ringleader. That guy.
Oh, God.
Wait, is it that guy?
That
No.
guy?
No, that
Okay.
That guy.
And I guess I do have to do one more plug. You can check us out on YouTube. If not, you could also check the Dad's Life Podcast on your favorite podcasting app. So if it's Google, Stitcher, if it's Apple, if it's Spotify, we're there for you. But I think personally, I love the YouTube one because you get to see the little antics that we're doing behind the scenes, guys. So go ahead and check us out there on YouTube. Okay, with that, Sensei Jon, let's get it started. What are we working on today?
Well, today, Flac 2.0, we got some topics. We got some good ones, too. We got one, reflecting on personal growth and lessons learned through fatherhood. We're going to talk about the wins and losses, that we have through fatherhood.
Okay.
Secondly, we have, I'm looking at freaking NjordGod and his beautiful daughter that he has. But our second topic will be raising children in digital age, screen time, social media, and technology.
Okay.
We're going to give y'all some tips on that. I got some good ones for y'all because I done raised 3 of y'all. Well, one of them.
Okay, and before we get into our dad life, dad advice, we want to talk about some current events. NjordGod had something special that he went to today. He wanted to share with us. NjordGod, take it away.
Well, actually, first, we got to start with what's in your cup.
Oh man, you gonna start off with that? Okay.
We got to start off with what's in your cup, and I'm going last.
Okay. Okay. All right. What's in your cup? You know what? We're gonna have to let the new guy to the show start off. All right,
Mr. Krinlee. Let's go.
What's in your cup?
Going with a Jameson orange.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Shit.
Cheers.
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 All right. Man, we already know what. I at least know what half is in your cup, Sensei John.
Oh, but the viewers don't know.
Okay.
So I got my same old thing with a little twang, and I'm gonna do my thing. But if you comment in this thing, we're gonna give you a shout out in this, man.
Oh my God.
And what I want you to do is guess what's in Sensei John's cup. Vote in the comments, like, subscribe, and guess what's in my cup. If you go to the past episodes, not the one before this, but the one before this, you know what I mean? Like 2 before this, you know what I mean? Maybe even 3 before this. Go check them all out. We got 5 episodes. This is the 5th episode. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fever for the flavor. Check out what's in Sensei John's cup. All right, I'm passing to New York.
Well, New York said he wanted to go
No,
last. So
I'm going last.
Okay, so what's in my cup? I got a 0 sugar squirt grapefruit flavored soda. That's
Dude,
what's
I
in
haven't
my
heard
can.
of squirt in ages, man.
I know. Squirtle.
All right, and with that, we'll pass it over to NjordGod. What's in your cup?
I don't have a cup.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I
Check
have
him
a
out.
horn.
Oh hell no.
Damn.
Okay.
And this is
Okay.
actually what's going to lead into my current events.
Okay.
Right now, I am drinking out of a Viking horn. Obviously, you got a horn. You've got to drink some Arkansas mead.
Oh. Okay.
So your boy is drinking Hog's Blood from Arkansas Meadery. Shout out to them because this stuff is awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.
Years.
All right, Njord, take it away. Let's see what you got.
So the current events that I kind of wanted to talk about today were in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We had the 2nd annual Viking Festival, which was I mean, I'm not talking about the NFL team, okay? For those like Sensei Jon thought that it was, yeah, straight up call him out. No, it's about like the whole Nordic Vikings, right? And it was actually really cool. I had never been to one before. I kind of grew up after high school going to Civil War reenactments in Southern California, which were a lot of fun. I even participated in them. But no, the Viking Festival was really cool. You had a whole bunch of different merchants there, right? My wife ended up getting a horn as well, but hers is like that. She got like a little baby. She got a baby horn.
Baby horn.
And what was actually really fun about the whole thing, right, is I'm a giant nerd. I mean, most of us on here got started doing this playing video games to begin with, right?
For the most part.
But what it was is when my wife and I figured out, or I actually determined, hey, we're going to go to this weekend, it was probably like Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. And my wife goes, are we going to dress up? I'm like, I don't know. I guess. And then she sends me a picture of a kid's Viking for Halloween costume for toddlers, and I'm like, yes, we're dressing up because that thing is awesome. It's brilliant. And I'm telling you, when I tell you that my daughter stole the show at a Viking festival, I mean it. She, like, every single person, we ended up getting her this little wooden axe, right? And she's literally going around just hitting the dirt or hitting mannequins and stuff like that. And in a setting like that, that's completely acceptable. Like, you can't go anywhere else and give your toddler like a wooden axe and have them just start hitting things and people are like, yeah, Viking, you know.
I do gotta ask though, because I'm a bigger figure. So, what kind of food do they have at one of these Viking?
Ooh, come on, Don, come with it,
I'm a
baby.
bigger figure. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
You know what I mean?
so that's just the thing, right? You have to remember, I'm in Arkansas, okay? So we stick true to the barbecue, Okay.
Yes, sir. Come on, Njord.
True
I'm like,
to the queue. Okay.
okay, like it's everywhere. Everything had like, so what I ended up like grubbing down on twice were these things called like twisted taters, loaded twisted taters with barbecue.
Mm.
Oh, they're like thin chips that are deep fried, right? It had barbecue beef on it. It had brisket. It had
Ooh.
barbecue sauce, nacho, onions. I mean, oh, it was so good the first time I had to do it again for a later snack.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, it put Njord in
Now-
a coma.
Now, what I will say, there was a Euro truck there, a Greek Euro truck. It was a little out of place.
Oh yeah, just
Okay.
right, just a little out of place. A little out of place.
But it was there, right? But they had a crud ton of food trucks. It was kind of one of these things where like you go through this entire place, you come around a corner, and then like there's food alley, right? Like I know none of you guys have been to the Orange County Fair in California, but like your guys' county fairs, right? They've got 1 acre of food trucks.
Well,
That's yeah.
yeah, ours. I don't know. Like the last time we went to the county fair out here, it wasn't that big. Like the food area wasn't as big as I thought it should have been.
Okay.
But yeah, okay.
You
Festival.
talking about up there in Sacramento?
No, we didn't have one this year for that. Did we?
In Sacramento?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always got one in Sacramento, bro.
Nah, but I was I'm talking about the one that's in the hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I don't. That's too far for me. I can't drive. If it's more than
Yeah,
2.5
yeah.
hours, I ain't doing it. All right. Anyway. Okay. All right.
I ain't with it.
So I entered into a competition
Oh shit.
when I was there.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Wait.
Here we go.
Wait. Okay. All right, everybody. What do you guys think he entered into? Krinlee, what do you think what competition do you think he entered into?
I'm just gonna go with axe throwing.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn. Krinlee took mine.
I was gonna make up some bullshit because I don't know nothing about Viking competition. So
Yeah, I know they carry axes, so
You
I'm gonna go-
guys are thinking way too deep.
Okay, swimming.
Okay.
I'm gonna say boulder throwing because I think I saw that as a thing. Boulder
Okay.
throwing.
I entered the Viking beard competition.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
I call him Beautiful Beard. Okay, where'd you play?
Okay.
Yeah, right.
So there was a point where like they call us up and they ask how long we've been trying to grow our beards, and quite honestly, mine's only like 4 months old.
damn.
That
You
was
got a good looking beard, dog. No homo.
Love it. But there was this other short dude, right? Because I'm a short king. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I'm 5'4". There was another short dude who had a beard a lot like mine, but when he got up there, he goes, "I'm just up here because the boss told me I needed to be up here, right?" And like that instantly won the crowd. And he ended up going like neck and neck with a dude who had a beard that was like down to here, right? But this dude had a beard just like mine, a little bit shorter. But that longer beard dude had like a really wispy, thin beard. Yeah, it was long as hell, but it was thin,
Right.
right?
That's not gonna.
So
keep my
I ended
face
up-
warm.
I ended up like kind of like throwing mine away and trying to support the other short guy. Like, hey, I'm in it with you, dude. Let's get it.
Okay.
Let's get it on.
But no, it was a lot of fun. My wife and I, we had so much fun that we were like, hey, when my daughter grows up and we can actually do it, we want to start going to some of like these Renaissance fairs, the Viking festivals and stuff like that, and actually camp out and actually partake and be some of the cast members.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be
Was it
a
called LARP?
lot of fun.
LARP.
Yeah, kind
Come on,
of.
Sean. Come on, come on,
Yeah,
Flac.
no, you're right. Live action role play.
Yeah, that's what that. Yeah,
LARP.
Yeah, LARP.
But it's just a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't been to a Ren fair, if you haven't been to something like that, and Ren, for those of you guys who don't know, Renaissance fair, I'm gonna tell you that is the nicest group of people ever. seriously, like people just coming around like other dudes like, dude, that color looks great for your costume. I love that shit. Like that is awesome, right? Like people coming around like, oh, your daughter is so adorable, or like people coming up to my wife, I love your boots. You're like,
Hey, his daughter is really adorable.
thank you. It, literally, like I said, the nicest people ever go to these functions. So if you guys are looking for a wholesome family fun thing to do, look up your next Renaissance Fair, or Viking Festival, or anything like that, and make a weekend of it. Go have some fun. I mean, you're not gonna be disappointed.
Okay.
Guarantee it.
No, that is
Okay.
yeah, right. We're gonna run with that. All right. So we got basically it for the current events. I think that took up all of our time for our current event. For our current events, Njord, thank you for sharing. That's actually pretty awesome. And I'm glad you guys had a good time. So, and that was today, wasn't it?
Today,
Okay.
Ooh.
The day of the recording, killing it.
I'm exhausted.
I know you are.
Okay. All right.
Especially with a 2-year-old.
All right, so we're going to transition over to our, what is that? What do we call our dad life, dad advice portion of the show? We already did what's in your cup. So I was going to see who knew how to tie a tie.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so we already see, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you can see Mr. Krinlee again already has his tie going. So I'm going to go
Hey,
ahead.
Krinlee busting now.
No, he came out with the whole collar and suspenders and all that.
Man,
So,
Where's my
the
white
boy-
flag?
But the boy got his collar tied down with the buttons down.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Krinlee. You know what I mean? He bought this life.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just see what I could do. It had been a while, but I'm gonna do what is this called? A double Windsor. So it's like you do one
Okay,
over.
come on, Chad.
You know,
We
what I'm
rooting
saying?
for you, dog.
You know, okay,
Hey,
we
he's
got
coming
that.
around. He's
Oh,
coming
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
He double
Yeah.
whipped it,
Yeah,
and now
right.
he's coming up through the whole pause. But when he goes down, he's coming through it. Boom, bada bing, bada boom.
Bam, there it is.
Now you need to choke yourself.
I know.
I can't get any respect. Sorry.
It's like one of those. What was it like? I've got my hand here. Just walk into it.
Yeah, for those that can't see, Sean tied a perfect double Windsor, and Mr. Krinlee congratulated him on it. Applause for everybody.
and I do. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and hit the victory for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Sensei Jon, take us away. Dad life, dad advice. Let's kick it
Okay.
off.
Where we going with this? We gonna hit y'all straight in the head with this one.
Okay.
I think we're gonna start with the digital age one.
Okay.
We are living in the digital age, and we have to protect our kids, right? We have to protect their mind, we have to protect their time, and we have to give them time from us, right? Because I ain't gonna lie, when my oldest was growing up, and I always revert back to him because he's like the science project. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's always the first to come along. You know what I mean? He's born in 2004, so that make him 19. Well, it could be 20, but he got a late birthday, so he graduated at 17. But anyway, raising a child in the digital age is very challenging. I can tell you that. Right? Okay, so here's the question for everybody listening out there: what does raising a child in digital age look like? What is screen time? What do we do with screen time, social media, and technology use? Okay, I'd like to go first on this one.
Go for it.
If y'all don't mind. Okay, digital life and screen time help me. I say help me, but when I became a father for the first time with my oldest son, digital life helped me. In a sense that I was able to gain, my mind in my time. And what I mean by that is I was able to put my son, because he was born in 2004. The internet wasn't really like popping like that. It was, but it ain't popping like it is now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
2004, I want to say what, 2000, 2001, it was really, a bada bing, bada boom. We was out of the dial up, you know what I mean, type of shit. So, uh, the AOL, y'all remember that?
I still got an
You
AOL
left
email.
him.
Mom, put the phone down.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. My phone line in my room, so we're gonna go off topic for a second. My phone line in my room was the internet. You know what I mean? So motherfuckers had to call me, talk about, hey man, your phone sound like but anyway, so raising him in the digital age kind of like helped me because I want to say gave me a peace of mind, and not in a way that was like bad or good, but I was able to like pass the buck. You know what I mean? Like, so what I mean by that is pass the buck in raising a son in a digital age. He was able to like play on his PSP. He was able to be on the internet. He was able to like search anything that he wanted to search. And in a good way, it helped me because I was like young and I was able to, like I said, pass the buck, meaning that I was able to let him sit on his internet for a minute, you know what I mean? Be able to search the web, play his PSP. I made sure I put the blocks on there though. They always had the blocks on there though to make sure he wouldn't search nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Um, um, but what he liked to do was search for information. He was very informational as a kid. He always liked searching hot topics or things he didn't know. And shit, hell, I probably didn't even know either. But 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 he was on there for like hours. I'm telling you, like when he came to live with me, after he finished his schoolwork and stuff, he would be able to search the web, do whatever and I want to say that was probably about the 2010s when he became. It was definitely the 2010s when he became old enough. So from 2004, from when he was born in 2010, it was a totally different internet. But in my eyes, I thought it was still a better internet than we have this day and age, because this day and age, you know, we got people ready to lurk on our children. And so before I didn't keep him off the internet. My kids now, they got no internet. Kids YouTube and all the little video games that don't have to do with chatting with people. You can't do that. Roblox is out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I tried. My daughter told me, "Hey, this is she said this is her friend from school." I was like, "Wait, what? Hold on, this is who?" So in my mind, I thought, okay, well, if this little kid is on here, then there's other people's lurking. So the internet has changed from uh, past to present. You know what I mean? One thing I do understand, and I do like as a parent, is the time limit that we put on our children. My son, he really didn't have no time limit, except when he was done with his work, he can, surf the web, do whatever he wanted to. Now, as a dad, I realize that screen time is important, and being off the web, being away from the television, being interactive with our kids, and stimulating their minds is more important than them being in front of a screen.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And so my son with my son, like I said before, he was, and I don't want to say the crash dummy, but all I want to say is like, I love you, dog. You're my heart and soul. But I he was the first person that I let, you know what I mean, be in front of the screen like that. My kids now, it's they don't have no screen time during the week. Monday through Thursday, it's limited.
Right.
You know what I mean? Friday, 3 hours because it's pre-weekend. You know what I mean? Saturday,
It's weekend eve.
I love that, New York. Saturday, my wife is here, and when I used to be here, yeah, we let them, crash out. You know what I mean? But they on protected stuff. They can't get on roadblocks. It's kids YouTube. You know what I mean? They love that. That's cool. Boom.
Right.
What I did notice though, it doesn't matter how much screen time you let them have. They always got an attitude after the screen time. It's time to put the screen time up. it's from the oldest to the youngest. It's always like so. Sunday after church, my wife may get him a little bit of, but sometimes she come home, watch a movie because we need a break too. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like it. You know what I mean? And the screen time is there for them to be able to do what they want to do as well. Have their little independence. Is what you say.
I can see that.
You know what I mean? But being on the screen, I realize is very limited for my little children, and even I want to say even my oldest son, like he didn't even have no cell phone, like no real cell phone. We come from the pager and flip phone area. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We was playing Snake and stuff. You know what I mean?
Tetris.
So you feel me? So he didn't even really have a cell phone until he really got to high school. My kids right now, my daughter's talking about like, oh,
Uh-oh. Lost you.
Mommy said 12. I said, we'll see. It all depends on that.
How many minutes
with
do
it.
I got?
So,
Oh God.
come on now. Come on. I was buying minutes.
Right.
I had a job at buying minutes.
A text message was 1 minute of time.
Come on, man. So, and just to wrap it up so I can pass the buck, screen time is very important. We want our kids to be able to have those social skills, not only with other people, but definitely, with their family and everything. Because, going over family's house, bringing their tablets or whatever, like, it can be a distraction. You know what I mean? To kids. Big distraction. To even just, knowing who their cousins is, knowing who their aunties is, nowadays, kids just want to go over there, they take the ride, whatever, and then they just like, where's my tablet? Check out. Thank you, Nord. Check out. So
All right.
I'm done.
All right. Who's next?
Can
Okay. Njord, go take it away.
So, screen time. Again, I've only got a 2-year-old, right? So, I saw this topic come up, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I can talk about this." Okay, because my wife and I had completely different opinions about it prior to baby Freya actually entering this world. I had more of the realistic thought process on it, right? I was sitting here, I'm like, look, we're gonna need to cook, we're gonna need to clean, we're gonna need to be able to have some our time. I mean, we're gonna have to have some breather time ourselves, right? My wife was very much so staunch, absolutely not, no screen time at all, period. I would like to announce that I probably owe child support to Miss Rachel. Or the cost of babysitting. I mean, like it when you have under 5, right? It helps a lot. Now, Sensei Jon, I completely agree with you, 100%. You know, I think at a certain point, I'm going to look at my daughter. I'm going to be like, no, you know,
For real.
you don't need this, right? The only caveat that I have that I'd like to really kind of point out is, y'all, when we were younger, when we were raising ourselves, when we were getting raised ourselves, right?
When we were raising ourselves, go ahead and say it.
First and foremost, all of us on this podcast right now, we learned the internet as it came out. Okay, we learned the technology as it came out.
Right.
We had to teach ourselves all of it. Okay. It wasn't something that, like, yeah, you had a computer class, but come on, dude, that was Mavis Beacon.
Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail.
Right.
Trail.
Right. Okay. Looking at it today, yes, it's a very scary place. Okay. 100% it is. I mean, you've got news articles left and right about, you know, child predators that are out there. Hell, your baby monitors aren't safe. Okay?
Right.
Those can get hacked into. Those little walkie-talkies you can get at Walmart, those can get hacked into. Okay? This entire planet is not safe for your children. We're fighting a war on every single front that is pointed at us. Okay? Take the steps to protect your kid. All right? 100% take the steps to protect your kid. I love what you said about the whole, you know, kids YouTube, no Roblox, only able to do stuff with other people when I'm present, right? And I remember growing up, that whole idea of, well, I need to have your friend's phone number.
Hey.
Hell no, you don't. Hell no, you don't. That's my friend. You're not going to embarrass me. Hell no. I get it now.
I need to talk to their parents before you go over their house.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
For sure. Oh, that's most definitely.
I understand it now. And mine's only 2. She hasn't had a play date. Okay. But what I'm getting at is it's scary. Right? It's scary out there. But this digital age is only going to get more prevalent as we carry on in this life. Okay? We're talking AI. We're talking all of this technology coming into the workforce. Okay?
Automation.
So I have a little bit more of a look at it to where I don't want to ostracize my daughter from the technology, the screen time, the all of that. In fact, I want to make her proficient in it. Okay? Why?
Yes.
Because it's going to make her a better employee or a better workforce person when that time comes. Okay? Now, I say that with the remembrance that I said protect your kids. Okay?
Yes.
So you've got to do it smart. Okay? And the one last thing that I want to touch on prior to passing it on is, God, grandparents suck sometimes. Okay?
We're gonna bleep that out because yeah, man. I'm sorry, G-Ma. I love you, G-Ma.
Yeah, GG.
I said sometimes. I said sometimes.
Okay, all right.
Okay? My mother said, I love my mama to death. Like, completely love her to death. Mom, I love you. You're awesome. But sometimes I just want to. Okay? We do not want to get my daughter a tablet, period. Like, that's not what we want to do. And I say we, my wife doesn't want to. So it's we.
Good boy. Good boy.
I'm personally okay with it as long as it's educational stuff only. right? Like at 2 years old, like let's get the educational stuff. Let's do that. My mom went and bought a tablet for her for Nana's house only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Smart.
comment on that. I'll comment on that.
Hey, she's smart. She's
no-
using her nine.
But the problem is like the parents are sitting here saying, "Hey, no tablet," right?
Right.
And Nana's like, this is Nana's house. Like I'm getting her a tablet, right?
Come on, Nana.
What?
Yeah.
Just stay on board.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm not gonna.
Hey, don't
tap
worry
on
about your daddy. Hey, don't worry about your daddy. I whoop his ass too. Don't worry about nothing.
Right.
But that's the end of it. I mean, pretty much what I'm saying is like, hey, don't ostracize your kids from technology, from the digital age. Indoctrinate them. Teach them.
Yeah.
Teach them how to be safe as well. Don't just protect them in a bubble and not explain why. Okay? Because some of the biggest problems that I had was being told, no, you can't do that, but I never got told why.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, man.
So what did I end up doing? I ended up rebelling. Okay. I was told no social media at all. Period. Guess who had social media? Okay. But if you don't teach, then you're gonna have rebellion. Period. You know.
And it's better that your kids learn from you versus learning from somebody else. So,
Absolutely.
Hey, that's good, Norton. Real good.
okay.
So
Hey, if you don't
Pass it on.
teach, you can't preach. Come on
Correct.
now.
correct.
What's up with you and all this rhyme in this episode?
I don't know. I'm just feeling it.
All right, Krinlee, take it away. What you got? What you got on the topic?
Well, I'm an IT guy anyway, so I'm always I'm always into the technology stuff, and I'm super proud of my kids. Grasp it. But at the same time, it's definitely you got to keep them safe, and you just gotta keep track of what watch what they're doing. You're gonna monitor, block, everything you don't want them on anyway, or pretty much. I'm gonna use the term whitelist what you do want them on. So you block everything and you allow what you do want on. But then, like Njord said, you explain why. You show them. You want them to learn how to use it, and I don't know, like, and just progress with it, keep going, and then when you come across something new, then you're like, oh, I've kind of experienced that with this, and then they keep learning. It's, I don't know, like he was talking about, he was limited from like social media, for example. When I was a kid, my dad was like, here's a computer, don't get yourself in trouble. So that's where I was. But yeah, like I got a 9-year-old and a 3-year-old getting ready to be 4. So it's scary, but you just got to prepare them the best you can. And
None of us are perfect.
No.
yeah,
No.
that's
Like
all
I
you
said,
can.
Take me for example. I definitely wasn't perfect with my first one. I'm still not perfect with my second and third, but I'm more aware, like how you said, Mr. Krinlee.
Yeah.
Take out what you don't want and put what you want.
Mm-hmm. It's like my son, he's 3. Like he picks up the Switch controller and he just takes off with it now. Like
Dude, it's genetic. I'm telling you. Okay, hold on. I'll go for the circle around again.
Okay.
but yeah, it's just, and I don't know, it's amazing, and I love watching it grow. But Sean, what you got?
It is amazing.
Like mine's a little bit almost like an amalgamation of all you guys, what you guys got going on. With my oldest, he has ADHD. So early
Check.
So early on it was all about I played video games before my wife. When I met my wife, my son was 6 years old. So between the times of his being born and being 6, he was exposed to like video games and TV. Like that's what was. And my son was born in 2004 as well. Internet wasn't the biggest thing as it was. I didn't have no laptop or I didn't have no desktop or anything like that. So for the most part, the screen time was watching TV and playing video games. He had a PSP as well, and I do 100% agree with the bottom line is it's a distraction. It keeps them occupied while us as parents can do whatever we got to do or whatever we need to do. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but when the house has to get cleaned and dish, like what you guys said, we got to eat, we got to wash clothes, we got to cook dinner, we got to prepare stuff, or you just need like what Sensei John said, that mental peace. Give me 30 minutes just to recharge my own self, my own mental. So with my son, my oldest son, between that and 6, and it was kind of like video games and TV. And then as far as like, he didn't have no internet. He had ADHD, so we went through all the holistic stuff first. So that means limiting screen time, going, eating right, exercising, sleeping, no TV in his room. He had 1 hour a week to play video games, and he didn't know
Oh
why.
wow.
Yeah.
You was strict.
Oh no, but it had to be because he could still watch
Yeah.
TV and he could watch his little Netflix shows and stuff like that. He never had open access to a cell phone. He had a cell phone that he had with him that we could track. It was like an old iPhone that we had activated, but it was locked. He didn't have a
That was good.
password, just so that we could track him when he's walking to and from school. But I think that was a double-edged sword because with all that restriction, he kind of pulled what a Njord pulled. He would go on his friend's phone. He would be in the library on the computer there and kind of doing that. And it wasn't because it was a scary internet. It was more because of his ADHD. We want to keep that stuff away from him. And we tried to explain it, but as Njord could probably attest to, like as an ADHD, thought process, if they want it, they want it. It's a that's it. That's all. So of course he wasn't mature enough to understand why and sacrifice or why he had to not have what his friends had. So that was a battle there. With my younger kids, though, I'm gonna say it's been flipped, right? I mean, my son is like an old man. He gets up, he has his little chair, he has his blanket over his legs, he got a remote in his hand, and he's sitting there just going through his little show. Yeah, and he doesn't get to watch YouTube. He gets to watch Netflix, and he gets to watch the YouTube Kids stuff. He can't watch no gaming because he likes watching like Plants vs Zombies, and it's like they have I guess Battle for Neighborhood. It's like a third person shooter, so it's like, it makes him sick because he gets motion sickness. So if he watches too many of those, he gets a headache. But I mean, literally, he knows how to navigate the television. He sits there and plays. The other thing too is he plays Legos while he's watching the TV. So it's like he's sitting on his Lego table doing this and making stuff. And I think the big thing was educational. So like a lot of the stuff that he watches is like one day he was like, "Yeah, I'm a mushroom expert." Like now he thinks he's an engineer, and I think like there's a lot of value with like what Krinlee was saying as far as like exposing him to it because there is a lot of positive to it, and if they could grasp some of those things, it is going to be what the future is, and I think there has to be a balance between that. And just before we kind of get back into the roundabout here, the one thing I will say is their attitude.
Yes.
Sensei Jon talked about it, and so my wife sometimes she'd be like, "No more screen time. Nobody gets no screen time." And then so he'll just be going at it. My daughter, she'll draw. They'll make stuff. They'll like today. I was home. I work a lot, so today I actually stayed home, took a day off, and we.
Good for you.
Yeah, I needed it. The last couple days have
Daddy's home.
the last couple days have been really crazy at work, and so I was like, you know what? I've been working for a lot, and these last couple of days kind of burnt me out. So I was home, and so they chose not to be on the screens. Like he could have been on the screens, but I was in there. And so what I ended up doing, like they start making stuff and crafting stuff and drawing stuff, and they want to play we got a keyboard, they want to do that. But again, when they're on the screens, or off the screens, they get more creative. And they interact with each other, and I put a wiffle ball. I bought like this little wiffle ball thing and put it on the end of a fishing pole. And so, they sit there cracking that thing and it's flying and then I'm reeling it in and you know what I'm saying? So you kind of get a little interactive with the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's a
But
good idea.
right, but they like doing stuff like that, so my daughter, she likes dancing, so she's like, "Daddy, can we have a little dance routine?" We're gonna put the little dance routine. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. But yeah, I feel that there is some danger. I feel again, it's almost in agreement with everything that you guys all said. But yeah, my thoughts on it are just again, it's scary, and the scary part to it is automation, like automation, and they swear up and down somebody's taking our jobs, and honestly, it's automation. The more things that can be done through AI, through robots, that's really what's taking our jobs away. And I mean, now they got robots flipping burgers, and that's AI. That's AI technology has gotten so it is scary in that sense. It is scary how kids could lurk or be lurked on. Or you know what? I ain't gonna lie to you. I was on Facebook, lurking one of my, exes from like however many years. Like, what's she up to right now? If I could do that on Facebook, who's to say, you know what I'm saying, what other people are doing with the same
Come
thing?
on now.
Yeah, and I'm not savvy like that. So again, it is something scary, and it's definitely something to think about. But going forward, I don't think we could do anything as dads to stop it. So,
No.
No,
okay, so
I feel you.
we'll round about this one, and Sensei, take it away.
Yeah, I definitely feel you. There's a lot we can do, but there's something that there's a portion of it we can't deal with. When I don't mean deal with, but there's a portion we got to teach our kids on how to deal with it. And what I mean by that, yeah, we can't control, but we can teach them how to deal with the situations. And I love my son, who is now 19.
A man.
We thought he was like, on the verge of being a little bit out there, but he reeled it back in for us. Very knowledgeable in his heritage, very knowledgeable in his world. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like he looked a lot of shit up on the internet, and my wife really criticizes like where you get these sources from. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you watching YouTube, and I love her for that because it makes him think. It gets his processor going. You know what I mean? YouTube ain't always the best source to go through. Give me the New York Times or some somebody that's
Credible.
that I can credible. Thank you, Sean. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah.
Because that's shrinking too.
That was good. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that's even getting smaller there.
Yeah.
New York Times is not exactly what it used to be. I mean, I'm not, but yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Okay.
But I agree with you, Sean. We got to monitor, and Njord, you gave some great lessons. You know what I mean? Got to monitor what we for the kids nowadays, for sure. You know what I mean? But as parents, we got to interact with these kids more.
Yes.
We got to bring some of that old school shit back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, get yourself outside until them lights turn off. All right, like
You know what I mean? Come on, man.
but not in Little Rock.
You gotta get
Until the
home
street
before
light
then.
come on.
Right.
Until the street light come on.
Right.
Shit.
Right.
Get your ass out there. Go drink some garden hose water. You know what I mean? Go ride your bike.
That is safe in California. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. Here, I'll kind of add this, right? Even though we're from like more of an analog age and a digital age, I mean, I think the theories are still there, right? What we learn from, okay, I'm going to teach my son, my children, my wife, myself, self-defense. I'm going to learn how to defend myself from a physical attack, how to deal with a certain emergency, know who to call, kind of run these scenarios. And, we have an earthquake. What's our go bag? I mean, we have to have just that for our own selves. And I think that same theory applies to the digital age. It's not different. It's even more open wide. And I think those same theories, just like what you guys said, is very applicable. So even our little old school thought, or I know my old school thought behind it, is I'm gonna expose it to them into a certain way, and then kind of let them like tap their toes into it, and then kind of expose them a little bit more. And once we hit that wall, I'm gonna have to show them how to scale the wall. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then
Yeah.
once we get over that obstacle, we're gonna open it up a little bit more until we have that full arsenal of tools, and this is things to watch out for. I mean, you guys know in the last episode we talked about pro gun. Like, I don't have any guns, but I mean, I definitely know how to shoot. I'm not the best shooter, but I know. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to teach my kids how to shoot, then I'm going to teach them, if they're going to be in that digital realm, they need to know how to defend themselves with whatever tools they have available there.
I'm gonna piggyback off that real quick, okay? In one of my dad Facebook groups, right? One of them came out with, "Hey, how old do you start? At what age do you start teaching gun safety?" Right?
Okay.
That's good. That's real good.
I'm pretty sure that was a heated discussion.
No, actually, it really wasn't. It was everyone was just kind of giving their opinions about it, and it was cool. I'll tell you myself, I've already started. She's 2. I've already started. She's got one of those orange little plastic suction cup guns that like shoots a little suction cup dart, right? We've already started the whole, you don't point that at people.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay? But it correlates into the internet.
Yeah.
Okay? It correlates into digital.
Right.
Right? Why do you teach your kids how to change a tire? They're gonna need it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? The one thing that I definitely wanted to round about to was those of us who all have young kids. Have you noticed that the ability to use technology is almost ingrained in their DNA?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I don't know.
And the reason why, then you guys have messed up DNA. I'm kidding.
No, it's the people that I have to deal with at my job. That's yeah.
But what I'm getting
I
at
think you're talking
is
about the kids. I think you're talking about the newer generation.
yeah, the kids.
Hey, but you talking
about young people.
parents at the job.
I'm talking about young people younger than me.
Hey, these motherfuckers dumb. You know what I mean?
So my
Okay,
2-year-old,
Go ahead.
my 2-year-old, whenever my wife and I would be on the phone, like actually talking to someone on the phone, we typically always have it on speaker, and we talk like you do on speaker, right? She would still take our phone because we do a weekly FaceTime call with the grandparents, because there's 4 sets of them, and only one set lives here. Okay, the rest are across the country. She will take the phone and she'll put it up to her ear.
Oh.
Like she's chatting on the phone. That's not something she sees us do. Okay? She just ingrained knows how to do it. It's weird, and that's what kind of gets me with the whole, like, we're not going to stop it. Okay? Yeah. We are not going to stop the ability to them to use the technology, the digital age. So, yes, let's spur and cultivate the creative side of our children, okay? Which is what Sean was kind of getting at. But as automation is taking over, let's prep our kids to be the ones who are still employable after automation has taken over.
Yep, I agree. Definitely agree with you, Norm. You hit the nail on the head.
Now,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Krinlee, did you want to go to kind of come back around to it, the topic again?
Well, I mean, I just want to kind of like agree with you and Sensei too. At the same time, like there's all this stuff that we used to learn when we were younger that we still got to teach these kids too. That a lot of kids these days don't seem to be learning. Like Njord said, changing a tire. Like most people, probably 25 years old and younger, or old enough to drive. Exactly. Or they call Dad, because Dad knows how to do it.
Right.
Yeah. You call AAA because AAA they ain't checking no IDs.
Right.
I just left here My kid is stuck on the side of the road. I had to go to work.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, like I said, I just wanted to I guess, agree with them about having to teach them old stuff too, and yeah, that's all I got
Well,
on that topic.
well, I think it also means that what we know or what's ingrained to us, it's still relevant to how we approach the digital age. So, okay, all right. I think that's gonna wrap up the time for that. All right, Sensei John, do we got another transition? We're gonna go right into the next topic.
Man, you should have just seen his face. He's like, man, I had something else to say.
Oh,
Did you
not
have
me.
Oh, you good?
No. I just want to give you compliments on your tie, my brother.
Oh my god! I was like, wait a minute, that was a
My
single
boy
Windsor
was
right there.
tying his tie during the stream. He was, for those that can't see, Flac 2.0 was giving you a double Windsor while he was on stream. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's funny that you did that because I was like, Sean, I wanted to say while York was talking, I was like, man, he got that tie just sitting around. He might as well go on and tie it. You did it.
I read your mind. See, I read your mind.
That telekinesis. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, that was a good. I thought that was a great topic. All you guys hit on some good points. You know, keep your kids safe, like York said. You know what I mean? Exactly how Mr. Krinlee said. Take away what you don't want them and allow them what you do want them to look at. So we also had, and I'm just going to touch on this, Flac, we also had a tracking device on his phone. You know what I mean? All that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
It was
that.
great.
Right.
It was
right.
great.
It was great. Right.
Oh
It was
yeah,
great. You know? And I was able to see where he was and where he wasn't supposed to be.
Right.
So parents just know your kid's gonna be somewhere you ain't supposed to be. Where they ain't supposed to be, excuse me, we grown. Where they ain't supposed to be, but it's okay. You know, talk to them. Let them know I can see you.
Right. I can see
Oh,
you.
so I want to switch before we go into the next topic though. I got a little surprise for y'all. My wife sent me something on Instagram, okay?
All right.
And it's something I can share with y'all, and I want the audience to do something with this though. Check me out. This is for the month of March. And I'm gonna read these off. I think we got like 5 or 6, right? Before we transition.
Okay.
For the month of March, number 1, 15 minutes of solo time with each child. And that's 3 times a week. 15 minutes. Each child. Secondly, family dinner night 5 times a week. If you don't do family dinner night any times of the week, let's try it 5 times a week. Maybe you do it twice. Let's try it 5. Okay? Number 3, family walks after dinner. I know that's kind of hard because we eat kind of late over here. You know what I mean? But if you can get some kind of activity in with the kids, even during the week before dinner, let's get some activity in there. Let's think of that as activity. Number 4, 15 minutes of quiet time on the weekends. I know the wives can appreciate that for those who work on the weekends. 15 minutes of quiet time.
Both days.
There we go. Number 5, family game night once a week.
We do
This
that.
is for the month. This is for the month of March.
Now-
Let's do some family game time.
Where did this come from? What's the source on this? You said your wife sent it to you on Instagram, but what was the post from or whatever? Was it from a parent group or something like that, or was it?
This is from them. Yeah, some psychologist.
Okay.
So I can say that I do. We eat as a family every night, right?
Okay.
I
do too.
we get together with my mom, my sister, my stepdad, once a week, and we have dinner and game night once a
Okay.
week.
That's good.
With a 2-year-old, you constantly have solo time, and nap times are quiet time.
A must.
So the only thing that we don't do is the nap.
Okay,
Or
I
the
got a
walk,
couple of
the
more.
walk.
Come on, stretch out for me. Give me that. You know what I mean? Okay, well, I got a few more. Number 6, cook with me once a week. Child picks a meal, and they help make it. How about
Okay.
that? This for the month of March, so we got 4 weeks of this.
And that teaches a really good skill too. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Read 2 books to a child every night. I only read one.
We do one.
I know. So read 2. They'll be
But-
surprised. I'm telling you.
I'm reading the Grimm stories, so I'm not reading children's books. I'm reading all the Grimm's brothers stories.
Okay. And I'm reading 5-minute stories at a time. So I'm going to incorporate. So it's basically going to be 10 minutes.
Okay.
So that's it. So we got 15 minutes of solo time, 3 times a week. 2, family dinner 5 times a week. 3, family walk after dinner. I know it could be 4, mostly before, if we can do that. You know what I mean? That's getting the family active. 15 minutes of quiet time. That's Yor's favorite.
Yeah.
Family game night once a week. You know what I mean? That we can make it a quick game, easy game. You know, guess what I'm wearing, or I don't know. Cook with me once a week and read 2 books every night. So that's before we go to our next topic.
Okay. Now this is a challenge that you're challenging us and the audience to do as well.
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. All right.
Most definitely. As I take my drink.
Mine's empty.
For those can't, man, you better fill your cup back up.
The horn. You
Yeah.
need the horn.
I mean, excuse me, the horn. Okay. Next topic. Come on, man.
All right, next
let me. Hey. Njord is flipping the lid as he pours his horn.
By the way, I opened this for the show.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta say the rest for the best, and that's your wife.
She doesn't like it, so it's good.
Okay. All right. Last topic for tonight: reflecting on personal growth and lessons learned through fatherhood.
Okay.
We win some, we lose some, right?
Okay.
I'm going last.
Okay. I could go
Anybody
first.
want-
Or, you know what? Krinlee, we're
Oh, go
gonna
ahead.
let Krinlee go first. We're gonna let the new guy go first. You gotta put him on the spot.
New guy.
All right.
I got horns for that. I actually
Really
got
good.
Man.
sound effects.
Hit them horns, man. We horned all night.
I've got a horn too.
Yeah. We got 3 horns.
All right. I mean, really, the biggest one I'm probably gonna go with is patience. Especially with my son. He's 3, so, and we're gonna say autistic. He's hard to handle sometimes, and so you want to just like squeeze him, but you can't do that.
That's frowned upon nowadays.
Now, Krinlee, but before you get too hard on yourself, okay? Y'all, Krinlee, his wife, and his 2 kids actually came to my house at one point, and they bought one of my puppies. And what I want to say is they do an excellent job. Okay? Even with those kids being in someone else's home that they've never met before, yeah, the 3-year-old was a kid. Like, he was being a toddler, all right? But in an instance where you threw out the word autistic, okay, when an instance like that, for him to be that behaved and that well, while you guys were in a strange place, brother, you're doing something right.
Come on,
Well,
speak
thank
some
you.
knowledge on it.
Thank you, thank you.
Amen to that.
I mean,
Amen.
like I said, the biggest thing is just patience, because, with mine specifically, it's like if you try like to whoop him, for example, like he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand what's going on. Even now, he's 3. He's just like, why are you hurting me? Like he doesn't comprehend that he did something wrong, and it's hard to understand his way of thinking. But that's any kid at the same time. So, I mean, that's my biggest thing that I've learned through fatherhood, and probably my biggest challenge that I've had.
Okay. Patience.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Patience. Because we all don't have that. Coming into it,
Oh boy. Going
coming
through it.
into it,
Going through
going
it.
through it, and coming out of it. Shit. I'm just going to speak the real shit. I ain't got no, you know. Let me.
That was close.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Krinlee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh, okay.
Sean, you go.
Let's see here. Wow, the wins and losses, reflection, man. You know what? I think the biggest thing for me, and something that we kind of talked about earlier, if not earlier in the episode, for sure, during our Patreon recording, but flexibility, learning to be able to pivot at a moment's notice. Changing your priorities, let it be mentally, let it be financially, let it be just different goals, or again, I think being flexible and yeah, like I feel like I'm in a rut, but then I take a look at it, I'm like, I'm not really in a rut. I'm like, I was talking to my wife earlier. I'm living my dream, honestly, and and my dream wasn't I come from the hood. So my dream was to live in the suburbs, have a family, have a good job, and be able to provide. And now I'm here, and my priorities had to change in order to
We're
get
here
there.
now.
Right. And I came to this realization that I'm living my dream. This is what I wanted when I was growing up, and not understanding what it took to keep it, to get here, and to maintain it. I mean, those are two different things. Like a lot of people think, oh, the goal, the goal, the goal. But when they get there, what's next? And that's why I said I feel like I'm in a rut, but I actually need to stop and again pivot and be flexible about my mentality about what my situation is, and feel blessed and feel that this is something that I've worked hard for, and I feel like, oh man, like I feel like I'm in a rut, but that's not the truth. The truth is that I've achieved where I wanted to go, and I'm okay where I'm at. And now it is about living in the situation that I'm in and being flexible with, again, changing the priority or changing this or changing that. And I think through parenthood, I mean, that was the biggest challenge for me was, and like I said earlier, I wanted to be in film school. Like if you listen to our earlier episodes, you'll hear about what I wanted to do and what I put on the back burner for this. But I look back at like the last 10 years, and again, I was just having a conversation with the wife about it this evening before we got on here while we were having dinner, actually, that I don't regret the last 10 years. There isn't a move that I thought I could have made better within the last 10 years with all the ups and downs. And again, for me, I think the biggest thing is flexibility, is the ability to adjust. And I think with my wins and my losses, that's the biggest lesson I've learned being a father. And just, my son used to get the business, but I didn't know any better. I was ignorant.
Town business.
Right. Yeah. Right. The town business, and I didn't know any better. But as I learned new, and I again, I learned about different things. He stopped getting the hands. You know what I'm saying? And we had to do other things. And then with these younger kids, it's a whole different story, a whole different mentality.
You know what it is, right?
What is it? The
It's
digital
your wife. It's your wife.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. But yeah, I mean, for me, That was like I said, doing some self reflection and some growth. I think the ability to kind of pivot and change your priorities, was big for me. Is big for me. So, Sensei John, what you got?
Let's go back to the question. What was the question? Shit.
I don't know.
It's your question.
I was just gonna
I
say.
asked the motherfucker.
I was like, you got too
Yeah,
much
I
in that
mean-
drink.
Personal growth of fatherhood.
Yeah. No, I hear you. My personal growth with you, Sean, I used to whoop ass. I was whooping ass all over the place. You know why? Because I learned from my parents, and we touched on this before.
Oh yeah.
But my personal growth is my patience. Thank you, Mr. Krinlee, for touching on that. And my flexibility. Shit, that go along with patience.
Yeah, you're right.
Shit, I'm over here matrix and shit. You know what I mean? trying to be the best dad I can be. Oh, you crying. Oh shit, let me miss that. You know what I mean? For those on YouTube, I'm doing some matrix shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, let me miss that. Oh, you got an attitude. Oh, let me miss that shit again. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm keeping the yada means to the low today. But in all honesty, though, patience, flexibility, and the love. You know what I mean? Is each kid. I ain't gonna say have different love. I love them both all the same. But as I grew, as a parent, from being a young parent to an older parent, it's the love I have for my kids, the love I have for myself, the love I have for their future, because their future is important to me. When I was young and dumb and full of, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Baby making juice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Come on, yeah, boy, you on top of things. But when I was like that, you know, motherfucker didn't tell me nothing. You know, I was 7 foot tall, woke up on the mug. You know what I mean? Even though I'm still at that 5'9", you know. but
Man, you
when
tall.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is though, like when I was young, I couldn't, you know, you couldn't tell me shit. But as I grew older and then I got more kids, you know, added 2 after 1, then 2, then 3. You know what I mean? I started thinking, okay, financially, I need to get better. You know, even though I was still financially, I need to get better at number 1. But 2 and 3 really just made me think, okay, I need a house. Definitely, I had a wife for sure because I wasn't having no more baby mamas. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that again. That hurt my heart.
And your pocketbook, I'm sure.
Yeah, that hurt my heart though. More than anything, I'm gonna let y'all little motherfuckers know something. You know? Baby mamas hurt your heart. You know why? Because you gotta be separated from your kid. It ain't nothing like being connected to your children at all times. I'm gonna let you know that from personal experience. But being there for your children, the love that you have for each and every one of them is a different type of love. You know what I mean? Because we go through stages. You know, I know most of the people that I have children 2 or 3 years is a rarity. Where you have a child, you know, 1 year apart, or you know what I mean. But you know, 2 or 3 years, those are different times in your life that you have to cherish for each kid. You know what I mean? So the love I have for my children, each and every one of them, is a little bit different than the last, and the flexibility, it expands throughout their childhood, because if from number 1 to number 2 to number 3, the flexibility has expanded.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Right. You have 3 different personalities to deal with, including your wife. So
Ooh,
yeah,
we're not even gonna get into the why.
Yeah.
This ain't.
We don't talk about Bruno.
This ain't the
yeah.
hurt. Man, we don't talk about Bruce.
You know, we don't talk about
You
we don't
know,
talk about
this ain't the
right?
this ain't the husband life podcast. Maybe we can start one of those.
Oh, man. I like living.
That's playing with fire.
Right. I like living. So yeah, I don't know about that one. All right, New York.
You know,
That was just for the Patreons.
but you know, I've learned a lot of lessons through my fatherhood, becoming a father, patience, love, flexibility, and understanding. I want to say understanding of your children, because not only do you have to manage your household and your marriage, but you have to understand your children. You know what I mean? And who each and every one of them, if you have multiple children, are. Even if you just have the one, you have to understand who they are, and that's your job. Because as a father, we have to be able to push our children in different ways that other people can't. Nobody else can. And we have to understand where their boundaries is and what their flaws are as a father. Mom helps us with that. And shout out to moms. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have them. It's a biological thing. I can't explain it.
I don't think none of us can. Okay.
But as a dad, you know, I love each and every month. So love is the one I'm going. You got to have that compassionate, that love for each and every child.
All right. NjordGod, what you got?
So I kind of want to touch on that real quick before I get into mine. You know, our job as fathers isn't to nurture. I mean, we're supposed to do a little bit of that, okay? But let's be okay. So this is coming straight from my counselor. Okay. Our jobs as fathers are to protect and guide our children. Okay. Mom's job is the nurture. Okay. Our job is to, like Sean Flac said, teach them how to protect themselves. Okay. In all facets. Internet, physically, mentally, prepare them for their future. Okay. Mom helps with that. Yes. But you know, when they get their first, if you got a girl, when they get their first broken heart, who are they going to come running to? Daddy. Why? Because they want them to beat their ass.
Right.
Let's be real. Okay.
This is one of them.
Okay.
Right.
They go to mommy to help heal the broken heart, but they come to daddy to protect him first.
Come on,
Okay.
York.
Right.
Our job is to protect them and to guide them and to prepare them for the world that is to come. Okay. That is our job. We're not supposed to be the one that just sits there and cuddles our kids. That's their moms. All right. That's emotional like DNA physics of how we are made. Okay. So remember that. Push your kids. I like what you put there, man. I like that a lot. Push your kids. Okay. Now, this one was hard for me because I'm only a dad of 2 years. And it seemed like a whirlwind. Everything's kind of blended together. I mean, there were a lot of people today sitting here like, at that Viking festival. Oh, she looks like she knows how to cause chaos. I'm on every freaking day. Okay. She knows how to do it too. And the problem is she knows how to do it and then turn around and give you them eyes. You're like, oh, but she's so cute. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So I've honestly been thinking since we even started the Patreon, the Patreon recording, where have I grown? And I'm going to be honest with you. I've got 6 different things.
Oh wow!
That I've been able to come up with.
Preach, preacher.
And I know this is a little winded, and I know we're getting closer to the end of our time, but I do kind of want to get these out for all the new dads out there and for all the dads that are coming. We've already established that the majority of us were raised by the military. Okay? Parents in the military. My biggest thing is I was never late to anything. Ever.
Until
I was told
married.
being
Right until now.
No, even when I was married, we were still getting to places on time, right? I mean, I was taught being early is on time and on time is late.
Right.
Okay?
And late is unacceptable.
Exactly. And I still don't like being late, but we are. But I don't beat myself up over it as much. Right? I've been able to sit here and be like, hey man, I've got a 2-year-old, she sits here and refuses to leave out the door because she's throwing a tantrum, laying down on the floor, kicking and screaming. There's not much I can do about that except for pick her up like a sack of potatoes and throw her in her car seat and try wrestling a kid into a car seat while that's happening. Okay? It's fighting an alligator.
Man, if only you had a tablet. I'm just kidding.
I like that.
That's the best for the YouTube.
The next thing, right, is I mean, you guys kind of hit it perfectly, patience, but I want to put it further, anger control.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Patience, yes, but specifically the anger control, because when she sits here after I've sat here and I told her no, and she goes no. Oh boy!
Holy shit!
Yuck is what I would have gotten.
That man.
Okay, I talked back to my mama when I was like 16 years old. I had braces on, and I had to peel my lip out of my braces. Oh, and my mom hit me with her ring finger too, so I had the gash on the front side as well.
Oh,
okay.
Come on now, come on.
It's one of those. She's not old enough yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, not sitting here condoning like just slapping the crap out of a kid for no reason. That's not what I was saying. Okay.
None of us are, by the way.
Right.
Yes, sir.
She's not old enough yet to go that far for punishment. Okay, which actually leads me right into my next one. Discipline. All right. I was raised with the hand.
The iron
and
fist, not the hand.
No. I'll be completely honest with you. My mama was fair when it came to getting disciplined. Extremely fair. I knew what things I did deserved a spanking or getting whooped, right? And my mama would send me to my room for about 10 minutes while she cooled the fuck off, right? Because that is the big difference between abuse and discipline, right? Mentality, anger gets you carried away, okay? So she would cool off. She'd come in. She'd sit here and be like, this is what you did. What's the repercussions for that? Mama, I'm going to get 3 whoopings. Yes, you're going to get 3 whoopings, okay? She'd whap, whap, whap. Okay, I'd sit there, tears kind of coming down my face. She'd be like, "All right, again, this is why you got this. You knew that was the consequences." Yes, Mama. And then she'd give me a hug and say, "Remember, I still love you." And guess what? It was done. After that, I was not in trouble the rest of the day. I served my time, quote unquote. Okay, and we carried on.
Come on, Neil.
Okay,
until you did it again.
Right, which I constantly did. Okay. But what I'm getting at is at 2 years old, guess what? That doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
Okay. But what does work is teaching that respect starting now so that as she's able to learn right from wrong, I can sit here and instill, hey, if you do this, you're going to get whooped. Okay, so you know ahead of time. Right? But guess what works right now? Go sit in your chair. I don't have to hear you cry. You can cry. Don't get me wrong. You can cry all you want, but you can go sit in your chair over there in your playroom, and I don't have to listen to it. Oh, did you stop crying? Are you done? Immediately, as soon as she stops crying, are you done? Yeah. Okay, come on. Let's go.
Right.
Go say sorry to mommy for hitting her. You know? So, and again, yes, absolutely. But the type of discipline that I was thinking that I was going to be using is not ready yet.
And especially not with a girl.
What I want to pivot to on that is discipline is different for every kid.
Right.
There you go.
Okay? Sean, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you, you already know it because you've had 19, 20 years of it already with an ADHD kid. I'm sorry, but if a kid wants to who with ADHD that wants to do what they're going to do, they're going to do it. And getting hit for it on the ass isn't going to change their mind. I'm sorry. It's not because it didn't work on me. Sorry. Right? What did I have to do instead? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, my son, I could pop him on the butt when he does something wrong, and he'll just turn around and hit me back.
You know what I got in high school? We had a perfect little corner that had nothing around it. I got suspended from school. I had 2 weeks with a blanket on that floor in that little corner where I did my homework. I ate my lunch. I read books. I sat there. It was where I couldn't see the TV, but my parents could still see me. That was my home for 2 weeks. The only time I left that corner was to go use the restroom and to go to bed or go to school.
I ain't got that.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna
They
tell
pivoted.
you. I done been in the corner many a times with my hands up on my knees though.
Man, y'all throwing y'all parents under the bus. Where's CPS at 20 years ago? You know what I'm saying?
I done been on. Hey,
That's-
you better not go down. You better not go down to your heels. I want you on your knees with your hands up in the corner.
Hey, man, that's just calisthenics, man. That's just making you stronger. That's all that is. Calisthenics.
So I've got 3 more.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What?
I've learned compromise. Okay. And why is that? Because again, my wife and I were married when we had our kid, right? And we're 2 different individuals who had 2 different ways of thinking about how we were going to raise our kid.
We got some good clips coming out off this one, y'all. Come on, Jordan. Woo, you
Nice.
cooking, boy?
Coming into this, I knew how I wanted to raise my kid. Why? Because I've wanted a kid since I was 20 years old. I didn't get it until I was 31. Okay? So I knew what I wanted. I knew how I wanted to do it, or so I thought. And things changed drastically. And I'm not saying for the worst. That's not what I'm getting at. But things changed drastically when you put another functioning adult in the mix. Notice how I said functioning. Because there's some deadbeat spouses, whether male, female, doesn't matter. There's some deadbeat spouses out there that do not help, that do not contribute to anything. Some. My wife is amazing. Okay.
Woo-wee, amazing wives.
Man.
Come on, girl.
And learning to compromise and not be so stubborn in how I view my child being raised, because I'm not the only one raising her. Okay.
Come on, boy.
The next one, gentleness. I've got a girl. Okay. And it quite literally can be where I can look at her a little funny and she'll start breaking down.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. That's different for me. Yeah, I said, why are you crying? I didn't even say anything. I didn't raise my voice, nothing. And you're over here like,
Yep.
okay. So gentleness, learning how to approach different situations. I'm still learning. Yeah. Okay. In fact, I'm being honest. I'm still learning everything that I'm talking about because she's 2.
Right.
I've got a very long road ahead of me.
Yep. You still got the three-nager years.
The
The thundering threes.
My wife called it three-nager, where they're three and act like a teenager.
Right, that's it. That's we told you.
we dubbed it the very last episode.
Yeah, I know,
the
I know,
thundering
yeah.
threes.
Yeah, thundering threes.
And my last one. I didn't think I would have to deal with this. It wasn't even a thought on my mind. But standing one's ground. Okay.
What hill you're gonna die on?
Oh shit!
And I'm not even talking within my immediate family unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There have been multiple instances where I'm gonna put it back here because it's still fresh with me. Being a new parent when you're pregnant, everyone's got advice. Everyone's got something to say. Everyone's got this to say, and if they hear someone else say something like, "Oh no, don't listen to that," they want to sit here and say this. Stop it. Knock that shit off. And women, you're the worst. I love y'all, but you're the worst. Okay?
Hey, he keeping it real on this one.
Come on, boy.
Leave it to the parents. If you've got advice, by all means, ask first.
Right.
Okay?
If you have advice, by all means, keep it to yourself. How about that?
Seriously, ask first. Because there are some parents, there are some things where I would come out and be like, hey, I need help with this. Hey, you mind if I give you some advice? Yeah, please do. Okay? But guess what? All you new dads out there who are getting ready to be dads, take all the different pieces of advice that you're going to get from everybody, family included, and make it your own. Make it work for yourself. Okay? Make it work for you and your wife. Because what worked for their kids over there might not work for yours. And by all means, whatever worked for your mother and your mother-in-law 20, 30 some odd years ago is not going to work now.
Oh my god!
Okay? I'm getting to a point where I'm fighting a personal battle here in my own home where I don't want to disrespect my mama, but some of the things that she's wanting to do or that she's letting happen when she's got my daughter is causing issues here in the house.
And I'll tell you, the older she gets, the more you'll find that you don't want to tell the rest or tell people just because you don't want their opinion on it. You want to deal with it yourself.
Come on, Krinlee.
Let's put it this way, right? How many of y'all here, okay, when you were little, or for those of y'all who have got 19, 20-year-olds, did you put rice in their formula back when they were babies?
I don't even
Only because of my mama.
I don't even know.
Only because of my mama.
Because of your mama, right? Guess
my
what?
second one, we didn't do that shit.
You're not supposed to do that.
We did the baby cereal
Period.
stuff, like the flaky
You're
stuff.
not even supposed to do that. Unless your doctor says so. Now, I'm going to tell you all, listen to your damn doctors. Okay?
Right.
If your doctor tells you that your baby needs that, go do that. All right? That's the people you listen to, hands down, about your baby. Okay? But some old wives' tale or homeopathic stuff when it comes to a 2-month-old, a 15-month-old, a 2-year-old, you're the parents. Okay? My mama was sitting here giving caffeine to my daughter for months straight. She's 2 years old.
Oh wow.
Why? Because they drink iced tea around the house constantly. All of them do. And my daughter would just walk up and just start drinking. And they thought it was kind of funny and cute. And then on Nana's day, she'd have caffeine. I'm okay with her having sugar on Nana nights. That's fine. But get the addictive caffeine out of the equation.
Man.
But yet you get looked at like you're attacking your mama when you bring it up.
I mean, let me. You mind if I make a couple comments on that?
Go ahead.
Science changes, right? That's the thing about science. Science is not definitive, right? So when it comes to health is science, right? So as things change and different studies happen, and like you said, back in the day, rice was fine, and now for whatever reason, they're saying don't do that because they had something happen. A study came out, blah 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 blah. It as much as you have like all these different like fake homeopathic Instagram doctors or whatever. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and listen to my medical practitioner. That's that's what I'm gonna go with. And yeah, even with like I said, my big thing is people get stuff off TikTok all the time, and you got to understand that they're not taking liability for the information that they're giving you. So this could go with your parents too. Like this is what it worked. I mean, food is completely different, and biologically, it's different than it was 30 years ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Now there's a whole lot more, growth hormones and all these different things, and just
Why do you think we're getting cancer more often?
right. I mean, so again, when it comes to definitely certain things, I get what you said. I totally agree about that, drawing the line and learning when you have to do that. But yeah, that was just the thing I want to add was like the whole science behind it, because like our thing is like my wife didn't want to get she's not into vaccinations, blah 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 blah. But when we were 4 years in fertility, and we worked so hard and had made so many sacrifices mentally, physically, financially to have our first son, right? She was like, "Oh, it's vaccination time," and she was like, "Because I'm going to do everything I can to make sure my kids are safe, regardless of what she felt about it and how she was like, nope. If there's something out there that I could prevent my son from passing away from, or whatever the case is, protecting them, I'm going to do it as a mother and as, again, her growth as well." So
That's why I'm gonna be honest. That's the only reason why I got the COVID vaccine. Okay, and I'm not asking for everyone's opinions about the COVID vaccine, right? But I got it because my wife became pregnant in 2021. Okay, and at that time I told my wife and I had a discussion. I didn't tell my wife. We had a discussion. Okay, and we both elected her not to have the vaccine while she was pregnant. There was not enough data at all. Some scary stuff coming out about that we were like, miss me with that. Okay, but I got it because why? I didn't want to give it to my wife to have her get sick and then lose the baby. Okay.
Amen.
yeah.
But ultimately, with this whole standing one's ground topic that I have is, remember, you're the parent.
Right.
Okay? Your mama's not the parent. Your mother-in-law's not the parent. Your cousin's not the parent. Your neighbor 3 doors down isn't the parent of that child. You're the parent. Stick to your guns on what you want for your kids.
Right. Yep. Right.
Hey, that's a powerful message right there.
It is. Big time.
And this motherfucker done stole the whole fucking show with all these topics. Come on, Njord. I preacher.
Y'all got me thinking.
No.
Hey, that mead does a beautiful thing.
You hit some
Arkansas meadery.
You hit some freaking good topics.
Right.
Like, all of them was on point, Njord.
Yeah.
I applaud you.
Thank you.
Your daughter's going to be one hell of a young lady.
I'm not
I
perfect.
can already see it.
Not perfect at all, by any means.
You ain't got to be perfect.
Right.
But I can already see the path that you're heading down. And I applaud
Appreciate
you,
it.
my brother.
Appreciate it.
You hit on all great topics.
Right. So one thing I did want to say, I want to remind our audience is that we're all from different places and different creeds, and we're obviously all different colors. And there may be certain topics or certain viewpoints that we don't necessarily all agree with, or we may have a certain perspective or whatever. So again, I just want to remind, all of us have this gentleman's agreement about certain things or whatever. But again, I just want to remind everybody that's listening that again, we do have different perspectives on different things, and it's okay to disagree. We all agree to disagree, that it's okay to disagree if we have different viewpoints. So
Absolutely.
Things like COVID vaccines and religion and politics or whatever. Yeah. If we kind of venture into those, again, just understand that each person is their own spokesperson, and they are talking from different parts of the United States where different information is going to be put out differently. So yeah, just want to throw that as a reminder out there. We are getting close to the end, so do we have any?
Can I say something real quick on that, Sean?
Yeah, go ahead.
For those of you who are stubborn and stuck in your ways on where you get your information, thanks to Sean Flac 2.0 over here, about 2 years back, I challenge you. Go find the sources for the opposing side of your information. Okay? See what your opponents are saying. And I'm not saying like it's vindictive enemy or kind of opponents. But go see what the other side is saying.
Right.
Be well-rounded in your information. Right. And I started doing that because of Mr. Sean Flac.
Damn. God damn, Jordan.
It's funny. We're gonna go quickly off topic because it was a discussion that we talked about. I wanted to know, what Sensei Jon, I talked to you about it, and I don't want to go into details because this actually might be a really good topic for another episode.
This will be.
But I mean, really trying to really understand what the other perspective is. So what I was saying is that, I don't want to go into further detail, but I mean, like I said, just kind of going off of what Njord said, ask the questions. Be okay with, hey, we had this discussion, and Sensei Jon, I told you about the discussion I had with him, and I don't want to go into major details with it because it may be a really good topic for another episode. But yeah, I mean, again, I think the value that we all bring to the table is our different points of views. And again, I just want to throw that out there to the audience or to anybody that's listening or watching, that we do come from different places, and getting to know who your other people are and having an open mind is part of the reason why we're all doing this together. So
yes,
yeah, I just wanted to throw that
absolutely.
Yep,
absolutely.
And I love every single one of you guys here.
Love you too, man.
yeah.
Okay, so we are getting close to the end of our recording time here. Did you guys want to kind of touch back on the digital age thing, or any kind of closing thoughts about the current topic we have going? I mean, Njord done knocked that shit out the park, but
I'm done. Njord, you might as well finish the fucking show. I'm just saying.
He said he wanted to go last.
I'm just saying, you busted down that shit. You played Plinko with that shit. You know what I mean?
And won.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Njord, any final thoughts?
Yeah. Any final thoughts on any of the topics that we talked about today? No.
I would say again, remember, don't isolate your kids from technology. Teach them. Okay.
Yep.
Also, cultivate that creative spirit. Okay. And again, the biggest one is for me is stand your ground as a parent.
Right.
That's, if you couldn't tell, that was my most passionate one.
Yeah.
Stand your ground. I got some good clips this week. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. Krinlee, you got any final thoughts on any of the topics we're talking about right now?
No, not really. Just, stand your ground. Like, they're your kids. You're raising them. If you have questions, by all means, ask. Of course, I mean, you can take all the advice you can get, but you're raising your kids. You're not raising someone else's kids.
Right.
Come on, man.
Sensei
And that's
Jon?
all I got.
Yeah, Sensei Jon.
I really ain't got nothing to say. Fucking Njord knocked it out the park. He had a 3-run homer.
Grand slam, didn't it?
Grand slam. I'm just saying though.
Okay.
if y'all really listening to this, rewind, fast forward, or whatever you want to do. Listen to what Njord said.
Right.
He hit on all bases. I mean, we all touched a brief summary of, but Njord hit it out the park. All the topics he had to say. For him being the newest father, utmost respect, my brother. You know what I mean? You're doing a hell of a job.
Thank you.
I want to cry right now.
Let it out, Davey. Come on.
You're doing a great job. I'm just saying though, like seriously, you're doing an excellent job.
Okay. For me, one of the things about the digital age thing, one thing they do have a tablet, but they have Amazon Fire tablets.
Yes.
And they are very limited as far as their capability. They don't have like Roblox. They can't do any microtransactions, and a lot of the games that they play on there are very educational. You know what I'm saying? Or so that was my thing. The last thing I want to mention on that. Um, as far as, and then this topic, obviously this one was deep. Again, like just like what Sensei John said, Njord, I think you really came with the passion on that one, and we appreciate that. And then
Thank you.
and then the last thing again, because there were a couple things that again you speak from a different place than we are, and that's why I had to throw that out
Yes.
there. With your first child, you're married in a relationship. Me and Sensei John, that wasn't our story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then Krinlee, I don't know, are all your kids all with your wife?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, he may be able to speak from that perspective as well. So again, that's why I want to throw that out there is that there's certain things where we know, and I'm just gonna say, I think all of us in here speak from a point of privilege at this point, and there
Yes.
may not be people that are in our position, because I will say that some people think their kids are only placeholders. I mean, people they go out there and they don't look at their children like we would look at our children. And what I mean by that is, if you're like filthy rich, you want heirs. You're not necessarily, about their personal growth and wanting to be involved. You have a nanny that's going to raise them, and they're just going to be a
Yeah.
placeholder for your legacy and things like that. So, I feel that we all speak from a point of privilege at a certain level, but at the same
Yeah.
time, really these topics and these discussions that we have, and is how in depth and how intimate being a father is to all of us here.
We care.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
and like I said, that's why I love doing this. That's why I'm committed to doing this every week with you guys and continuing this journey. And so yeah, I mean those are my final thoughts on this last piece.
Hey, this
I'll
was a
see you
great
for
episode.
I'll see you for 39 more episodes, my guy.
Yeah. Hey, this was a great episode. Krinlee, thank you for joining us. We really touched some really like heartwarming, like deep, intimate
Right.
subjects. I feel like. So I applaud all you gentlemen. Audience, please leave your comments about anything you heard from us. Any of the questions, we would greatly appreciate it.
Now, Sensei John, before we get out of here, what are some of the other topics that we could be talking about next week?
Well, there's multiple.
Ultimately, we're going to decide this next week, but what are some of the possibilities?
Financial planning, providing families as a dad, providing your family's future. We could also talk about father figures that aren't our fathers. Navigating fatherhood through different stages, and I know, you only have pretty much the stage you're at now, but navigating fatherhood through different stages of their child's life, infancy, toddlerhood. So you got two stages right there.
I have pet rock and a person. Yes.
It is
Oh, wow.
school age and technology, school age and teenage years. So me and Krinlee and
This guy right here.
Flac,
Yeah. Flac.
you know.
Sean Flac. 2.0.
I mean, we could also come with men's health. I mean, so you never know. Tune in next week to find out exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
And what we have in our cup.
Okay, guys, let's wrap this one up. Okay. Any final shout outs? Anybody got any final shout outs before we get into socials? We got one right here. NjordGod, go ahead. Go with your traffic, sir.
Mama, I know I put you on blast, but I love you to death.
Okay. Mr. Krinlee, the newbie to the show. Any last shout outs?
Just really Shadow Pack West. I mean, if I put anything out, that's where you're going to see it first. So,
Okay. All right. We love that. Sensei Jon, what you got for us?
Well, I'd just like to get out shout out to all the great fathers out there. Moms too, for sure. We can't leave you out. But shout out to, my parents, my son, my little kids, and just the audience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of our what I want to say, our village.
Nah,
Shout out to y'all.
our village. Okay. All right, so you know me. First of all, I got to shout out all you guys. Again, thank you for coming in, spending the time with us. Shout out to the patrons. Again, if you aren't a patron, you can head over to shadowpackwest.com and you can start your link to the Patreon there. You could start your patronage as little as $1 a month to support our content. If you like what you see, like what you hear. But obviously, thank you just for listening, liking, subscribing, and sharing, and leaving comments. That's always going to be the best way you support us, if anything else. Again, shout out to Shadowpack West. Again, Shadowpack West is a content creating community where, again, just a platform for us to work together. You can check out our works and see what we're working on, what we're streaming. Blogs are there as well. Again, it's been a labor of love that has grew from one thing to the next, and I think is also a direct derivative of what it means to grow as a father. Is you're going to start in one area and go to the next. So that's what Shadowpack West for me is. So go ahead and check us out, shadowpackwest.com. And that's it as far as shout out goes. So, Mr. Krinlee, let's start off with you. If anybody had any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts for you, Mr. Krinlee, where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/Krinlee, Krinlee, mostly Shadowpack West. If I put something out, like I said, you'll see it there first.
Okay. And we're not going to go with the Viking yet, and we're not talking about Minnesota. So, Sensei Jon, if anybody has any questions, comments, emotional outbursts for you, sir, where can they find you?
You can find me at Sensei_Jon33 at Instagram and X. Sensei_Jon33 at Instagram and X.
All right. NjordGod, Mr. Viking himself. If they got any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts for you, where can they find you?
You can find me on X at NjordGod. That's NjordGod.
Okay. And if anybody has any questions, comments, emotional outbursts for me, you can find me Sean Flac 2.0. And that'll be or at Sean Flac on Twitter, because I'm not going to call it that other thing. you can find me on Twitter.
We'll call it this.
You're right. And you can also find me Sean_Flac 2.0 on Instagram. You also can find me on all the other platforms if you'd like, but those are going to be the two ones you can hit me on. And again, I just want to say thank you for listening to this episode of the Dad's Life Podcast. Don't be afraid to tune in to the next episode of the Dad's Life Podcast for your Dad Life. That's it.
Oh, you added an "and" in there.
Right. hey, but Sean, where can they find you on YouTube?
Oh, well, that's where you already clicked on the link on YouTube, but that's gonna be.
But just in case,
it's also at Sean Flac. Sean Flac 2.0.
Okay.
Dang, now we got to do it again. All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Please tune in to next week's episode of the Dad's Life Podcast for
your dad's life.
Dad Vice.
And your dad life.
You know
Damn.
what?
We'll get it sometime.
Peace out, guys.
We'll be there for it.
Peace out.